Now we straight chillin', serial killing, pre-cold villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos by the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast a marlow or two, and prepare to hear the legend of the straight chillin' crew.
What up, nerds? And welcome to another greasy episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 502, recorded Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. Tonight we're talking about another You Pick. This movie was chosen by Jim G. Baby. The movie is The Greasy Strangler from 2016. Before we get into it, let me introduce the boys. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy, Randu. What's up, man?
Hootie tootie, just no kidding.
What's up, baby? You ready to talk about some fucking weirdo bullshit?
Buddy, I could eat that ass all night long.
Okay, well, thank you for being honest.
You are my hootie cutie. Hootie tootie disco cutie?
Come on,
there
man.
You go.
Come
You're
on.
my...
They chanted it like 1,000 times.
Yes, they did.
Hootie tootie, just no kidding.
Appreciate you. Last but not least, calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got your boy, Soju. What's up, man?
Oh, what up? It's your boy, bullshit artist, Soju. No bullshitting today, though, boys. I'm going to be straight
I
up
call bullshit on that.
about how much garbage this film is. just going to shit all over this movie today. Get ready. Prepare yourself. I'm starting it at the top.
Brace for impact.
Brace
All
for
right.
impact.
Bullshit artists. That's what we do every single week here.
That is
Straight
true.
Chilling.
It was like
We
looking
s-
into a mirror.
Boy, it was not,
Funhouse mirror.
I'm glad I did not have that experience with this film.
That's why your wiener looks so weird. It's
But
'cause of that
huge.
beard. But
Like a massive rat's head.
Jesus Christ. This movie's fucked up, y'all. We're recording
That's
one
barely
week.
started.
certainly one way to put it.
It's fucked up. We're recording 1 week in advance, so this is going to drop on the 13th of November, just to give you all a heads up. But we do have some housekeeping that we can tackle that'll be,
Oh my God.
mostly
relevant.
accurate by the
Wow.
time you hear this. So here we go. Let's get into it. We do have our December poll currently posted on our Patreon website. If you
Whoa.
guys support us at the $5 level or above, you get the chance to vote on a movie we're talking about this December. The theme is, some would say, brilliant. It is just cold.
Dude, we just abandoned all
Yeah.
effort. Once that
Cold's a
500
thing.
dropped, it's just
man.
hot,
We're
cold, dark.
We really let ourselves. Yeah.
It's
just
like the end,
adjectives.
the end of the thing. We're all very tired and we're not sure who we can trust. The
That's
three
true.
movies you're voting on are Curtains, Let the Right One In, and Misery.
Bob, those aren't
Ooh, boy.
Christmas movies. It sounds like a war on Christmas to me by straight.
It's a war on Christmas and fun.
Bob,
We're starting it.
how are those numbers?
There's not one mention of
looking
baby
at
Jesus
this
amongst those.
starting it? I'm ready to start a war.
We're starting
On
a war
Christmas.
at the gay bar. Gay bar. Gay
Damn.
bar. The numbers, how are they looking? Let me tell you. Curtains in last place with 16% of the vote. Nobody likes Canadian horror, apparently. Clearly. Second place, Let the Right One In with 32%. Misery winning handily with 53% of the vote.
Wow. That makes a
Okay,
lot
all
of
right.
sense.
Not a squeaker like the last couple so
Not
far,
squeaking.
anyway.
Well,
Nothing
we got
squeaking
two
just yet.
classics and then another movie.
And the
But no,
Canadian one.
Curtains is
The
actually really
Canadian.
good. I really like Curtains
I
a lot.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's honestly they're all good. They're all
Yeah, they are.
nice.
Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah, I mean we've been wanting to talk about Misery for quite a while, so if that wins, we'll say nothing new about it. But we'll get to talk
I've
about
never
it.
wanted to talk about Misery, so
I've
don't speak
never-
for me, Bob.
It's a cockadoodie
Fuck
classic.
that movie. It's
Don't.
bad. So get your votes in before the end of the month. We'll see what we're talking about this December. We're dropping mini casts every other Friday. At the time of you listening to this, we will have just dropped a mini cast. Randeezy, this is one of yours actually. We had it in the can for a
Oh.
minute. You're talking about Horror in the High Desert 3, the third one.
Oh my God, yes. So that's a franchise that is a pretty recent found footage franchise that has been continuing over the last several years. I definitely have a lot to say on that, and I would say that overall that franchise has got some pretty solid found footage elements, but it's also kind of mockumentary basis as well. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about it without getting too deep into it, but it's a continuation of a story that was told in the first two, kind of. But I don't think you need to see the first two in order to get it. They kind of
All
cover
right.
cover a lot of the same ground. So yeah,
Right on. That desert ground.
yep.
It's dropping the 8th of November. And we actually do have a couple new Patreon subscribers. Sorry, I know you guys have been waiting for that shout out. We recorded some
Oh,
stuff in advance.
yeah.
So we do have Dose folks. We got to give mad shouts outs to. Big thanks to Jordan W and Robert M for signing up on Patreon and showing us some love. Every dollar you guys contribute goes right back into the show. And of course, we owe you both the straight chilling salute.
Slap my ass.
One more time.
Slap me in the ass.
Ooh. Thank you,
All
Jordan and
right.
Robert.
Thank
Slap
you,
me in the
boy.
ass. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Hashtag.
God bless.
Thank you for keeping me upright.
What?
But
Would you
slaps,
fall
you
down
know?
if you weren't getting
Without
slapped in the ass?
without your contributions, Justin Scoliosis would have taken over years ago.
He's
Damn.
just squirming around on the ground. I have a bunch of plugs actually. I'll blast through these real quick here. Your boy Mikey and myself from Let's Get Physical Media. We just dropped a new episode of Let's Get Physical Media. You can check that out everywhere you get your podcasts. We're talking about our October pickups and talking Blu-rays, 4Ks, DVDs, etc. If I may be so bold, I will say the month of October was our bloodbath month for the year.
Oh
So
God.
we got a lot of shit to talk about. A lot.
So that's your bloodbath? I mean, my God, every month it feels that way.
You make
Dude gets
flirt.
gift cards in October, apparently.
A dude gets gift cards for himself and spends them immediately at the same day.
I buy myself Amazon gift cards to
They're
make me
called
feel
That way
better.
it's
blue bucks,
plausible to-
okay, Randy? You
It's-
don't get the
It's called
economy.
plausible deniability, is what it's called.
I don't know where these are coming from. People are just very generous.
A
Very
dude gets gift
generous.
cards from mysterious places like my wallet.
Like Brob, my
My
boy,
boy
Brob,
Brob.
sent me a
I
gift
think
card.
it's pronounced Bra, bruh.
Brabra.
Rob.
Nice.
Bra
Well,
horse.
well done. Attaboy. Check out Let's Get Physical Media everywhere you get your podcasts. I also, Mikey and I actually were both able to sit in with our good friends over at A Cut Above Horror Movie Review.
Who's
They
that?
were, you know who they are.
Never
You
heard of
know,
that
Hydra
podcast
Bird,
before in my life.
John, Jacqueline.
Hey,
You know.
Must be new on the scene.
Oh, brand new. Only 140 shows in or something like that.
oh
They were
shit.
doing
Bullshit artist.
Oh God.
they were focusing on Universal movies throughout the month of October, and Mikey and I sat in with them to talk about The Invisible Man from like 33, the original one. That date might be
All
wrong.
right.
That was the first time watch for me, so that was a fun conversation with them.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, cool topic.
I watched it for the
Check that
first
out.
time last year too, and yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah,
Well, I
he's
still
a
have
real
my first watch
motherfucker.
to go.
That
Who,
Invisible
the
Man.
Invisible Man?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen Hollow Man, so I feel like
Yeah, he's no Kevin Bacon. He's no Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke.
he's neither.
You're right. You're right. He's not either of them. Check out A Cut Above everywhere you get your podcasts. And finally, I was also fortunate enough to sit in with our friend Caitlin over on Plug It Up podcast. And we run down a list of our favorite PG-13 horror movies. We had like 20 movies we talk about on that. Really fun list episode, something kind of different. You know, we don't typically do those over here. So that was kind of a nice change of pace just to like blast through a whole shitload of movies with her. And PG-13 horror gets a bad rap. We talk about a lot of good shit. So check that out.
No, there's
Yeah, I
plenty.
mean, there's good
plenty of
examples
stuff.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Totes. Plug It Up podcast. Slam it into your ears. And that's all I got. You guys have anything you want to plug?
I don't have a damn thing.
My house is clean.
Yeah, I think so. Bob, if you're
Squeaky.
clean, then we're clean.
This house is clean.
All right, we are getting into the main event. We're talking about the Greasy Strangler, and we're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Oh, Bob, I don't even need to ask. I know you got this box.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bob, I don't even want to be here anymore. Cue
Oh,
the box.
Bob.
Oh my God. Yeah, Greasy Strangler. I got the box. You can get this on Blu-ray. It's really easy to find. You can stream it. You can do whatever you want to. 2016. This is unrated. Runtime of an hour and 33 minutes. This was directed by Jim Hosking, written by him as well as Toby Harvard. Stars Michael St. Michaels, Sky Ilobar, and Elizabeth De Razzo. Razzo, probably. This is listed as a dark comedy, parody, comedy, and horror. I don't know what this is parodying exactly, but we'll get into that, I guess. Plot synopsis brought to you by the back of the box. This Los Angeles set tale follows Ronnie, a man who runs a disco walking tour along with his browbeaten son Braden. When a sexy, alluring woman comes to take the tour, it begins a competition between father and son for her attention. It also signals the appearance of an oily, slimy, inhuman maniac, soon dubbed the Greasy Strangler, who stalks the streets at night and strangles the innocent.
Yes, that's what a boy likes.
Oh, boys, have we seen this movie before? And would we recommend folks check it out? Juice, why don't you go first? You're
Bob,
just
you know the
so
answer to both of
excited.
those things. You know exactly what I'm about to say.
I know, but the listeners don't. Please let them know.
No, I had been graced in my life to have never watched this film until now.
Hashtag bless.
Yeah, until now. And no, there's under no circumstance should anyone watch this film. All copies should just be thrown in the trash immediately.
It's plumb awesome.
So no, I
Right
would not. I would
on.
not recommend. Actually, no. To be honest, I legit. If you listen to the show and you knew me and my personality, I thought about this. I was like, I would rather watch any Rob Zombie film 100 times before I'd want to watch this movie again. Truly, like it
Damn.
Damn, that's
I
something.
That is
I
saying
could not
something.
not recommend this film more. Bob, how many
Mm.
times have you wasted on this film?
I think this was my third watch,
Oh, Jesus.
and to be honest, the first time I saw this movie, I absolutely hated it. It is a
So I
curiosity
decided to
though,
watch it again.
and again and again. It is
Hate watch is a
a
thing.
singular movie, and it's I mean I don't generally recommend it, but if you are into just extremely fucking weird things that you probably haven't seen anything quite like it before, then yeah, sure, check it. Like if you're just like morbidly curious, yeah, sure. But that is it. It's a very, very niche group of people are going to get any sort of enjoyment out of this. So there you go. Ray and Deezy, what about you?
So I had seen maybe like 5 minutes of this when we shared a home together, back before Rob stepped
Oh,
out on me. And
Whoa.
no, I had caught about
Bob
5 minutes of
abandoned
this.
us.
He
it's
abandoned
true.
us.
It's
Um,
true.
but yeah, I don't think this is an extremely difficult movie to recommend for any reason. But like, I think that if you are into like the John Waters thing, like this is very much John
Mm,
Waters slash him and Eric, um, gross out, goofy humor stuff that's happening here. I mean, I know we're not very precious about the term horror in this podcast. Certainly not me, but I would classify this first as like a gross out, weird out comedy. So yeah, I think it's
mm,
very if you're into that sort of thing. If you like get big chuckles out of Freddy got fingered or whatever, then maybe you'll get something out of this as well. I myself am just a little bit on the fence. I can kind of see that side of things, but it's a hard movie to enjoy like in its entirety. So
hmm
that's where I'm at with it.
All right. Well, that sounds generally like not a recommendation at all, really. just to a very small slice of people. So there you go.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to go
Um,
ahead and shout to I do appreciate thanks for supporting us, Jim, and doing a U pick.
Yeah.
And I only feel as comfortable as I do shitting so hard on this movie today because Jim picked it. It's out of love. It's because I know and
yeah,
love Jim that I feel comfortable.
I
he
feel
would shit on
confident
you
that Jim
just the
expected this
same.
outcome.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Jim's not surprised too.
He knows what time it is. Juice, this was also produced by Spectravision, which is your boy Elijah Wood's
Oh
company,
God,
your
Mhm.
favorite
of
boy.
course he would support this film. Of course
Mhm.
Of
he would put this out into
course.
the world. He's a
He would.
weirdo. He's a weirdo.
He's a
Hmm.
weirdo. He's a weirdo.
He's a creeper that
Hey,
wants to
the
see weird
the
old
weird.
giant dicks
Oh,
flopping around.
Don't we
Let
all?
me
and
throw my
baggy.
money at this giant weirdo dick, says Elijah Wood.
We're hunting for dick. Giant weirdo dick. Okay, so yeah, that's not really a recommendation. We are going to be spoiling the Greasy Strangler, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Oh, Bob.
You ready? You
End
ready
of
for this?
statement.
Yeah,
Uh,
go ahead, I
Go
guess.
ahead. Here comes the plot.
Oh God.
Used very loosely, that
Very
word.
loosely.
All right, here we go. Old man and pathological liar Ronnie runs a walking disco tour business in his hometown alongside his adult son and aspiring fantasy writer Braden. They live together, and Braden cooks meals for his father that meet his only requirement, that they be excessively greasy. Ronnie blames Braden for his mother leaving, but in reality, she left for a fitness instructor named Ricky Prickles. At night, Ronnie covers himself in grease and strangles people, and is soon dubbed the Greasy Strangler. He cleans himself off by standing in a car wash run by a blind man. One of his victims is a hot dog vendor. He strangles him, causing his eyes to pop out, which he then cooks and eats. Braden meets a woman named Janet on one of their walking tours. They begin a romantic relationship and eventually have sex. Ronnie becomes interested in Janet and attempts to seduce her. He then threatens to evict Braden if he doesn't let him take Janet to a discotheque. They go, and Ronnie attempts to kiss Janet, but she refuses him again. However, they end up having sex that night and mock Braden as he runs from the house. Braden confesses his love for Janet, and then they call the cops together to report Ronnie as the Greasy Strangler. They speak to a man named Jody, who is actually Ronnie in disguise, and he says their evidence is circumstantial and to cease all inquiries. That night, Janet declares her love for Braden, and they plan to live together. An upset Ronnie covers himself in grease and drags Janet out of the house to a movie theater where he attempts to strangle her. Braden covers himself in grease and follows them. He then helps strangle Janet, causing her eyes to pop out, and he and Ronnie eat them. The next day on a beach, Ronnie and Braden bond over their disgust for Janet. They then cover themselves in grease and go murder Ricky Prickles in the forest. Then they bizarrely witness themselves being executed by firing squad, in which confetti and champagne burst from their heads. And finally, they venture deeper into the forest and shake some wooden spears at the camera. Roll those credits.
Man, that is a sequence of events, isn't it?
Isn't it just some shit that happens on screen? Yes, it
Oh my
is.
God. So yeah,
Whew.
this movie, like I I I I wouldn't say that I enjoyed it. I think that it's like it to me it like I've seen that people do compare this a lot to like Tim and Eric and stuff like that. Like the guy Braden, Big Braden, he looks a lot like Eric Wareheim, like a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Um so I think that that goes a lot of the way for that. But also just like the like hype repetitive like bullshit to the point of it being like it becoming funny by like the audacity of it. I think is that's kind of where this movie operates. That like just the audacity is kind of what it's about. Like that's what it is. Like what we're gonna put something
Yeah,
on screen. We're
yeah.
gonna test your metal as a viewer and put you through some shit until you have no choice but to like kind of giggle at it or just reject it entirely, as it seems Juice has done.
It's a bit
Well,
of
I
the
don't
a
know.
I
endurance test for sure. The actress in this, Elizabeth DeRazzo, said this movie was John Waters meets David Lynch. I think I see a lot of the John Waters, maybe
I don't
a
see David Lynch.
touch
Yeah.
of the Lynch, but yeah, I don't know.
Maybe just in the spotlight dance sequence, like that's a little
Right?
Lynchy,
Yeah,
and maybe, but
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that it is kind of an LA centric thing though, but it's kind of like dirty, shitty LA. It feels more like John Waters Baltimore than it does Dave Lynch's old Dave Lynch's LA.
Your boy, Dave Lynch. Juice,
Davy
you were
Lynch.
saying something?
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, the thing is, I can enjoy like some Tim and Eric type of stuff, and I
Mhm.
guess that's where it's like it feels like we have it at home, so it feels like a cheaper, less accomplished, unable to actually pull off a version. Like I feel like when you're trying to be that obnoxious, or when you're trying to be just like I don't when you're trying to make something kind of shitty, you have to have a special something to be able to pull it off, if that makes sense. You have to be able to toe that line kind of well. And like I just every decision about this movie kind of like pisses me off, because I think it's all garbage, but I think it's from somebody who's like really trying to do it. Like I don't know, it feels so try hard in such a lower tier level of artistry, that to completely fail in doing it kind of just like pisses me off, and like on the deepest level.
Man, that
This
clearly.
this reminded me of like if you they don't take anything seriously in this movie. It's all very absurdist humor. But if you were to take the plot of it, the quote story of it very seriously, it kind of reminded me a bit of like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, but just this like really silly, goofy, absurdist kind of
I wouldn't know.
take
Yeah.
on it. So like if I don't know if that's what they were going for. I don't know if they were like actually going for anything here. It just feels like
I think they're
I don't
definitely
like
going
a
for something.
yeah, I mean, he has a style. Like there is a distinct style, but like I don't know that they're trying to
It all feels
necessarily
stolen.
reinvent anything or like comment on anything, but I don't know, it
No,
reminded
I
me of
don't
like
think
a
they're
really fucked
commenting.
up story at its core though, but just taken in a very absurdist way.
You know what I think is like it's really hard for me as somebody who is like very a pretty big Tim and Eric fan in general, to watch this and not make those comparisons. So like I'm watching this, and the thing that makes Tim and Eric work usually when is the length of things. This is like it's really hard to sustain that kind of absurdism for a fucking like hour and a half without pivoting hard into entirely different directions, like sketches and bits. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's really hard to keep it on the same story track. And like so I kind of like in some ways I kind of applaud trying to do that, but it doesn't really like hold together the way that you want it to, and it feels more to me like it just kind of wears out its welcome. And I know that it doesn't have much welcome to begin with because it is, I think, actively challenging the audience. You know what I mean? It's one of those movies that really feels like it's like even the soundtrack, it's like the most fucking absurd, like I don't know how to describe, just grating soundtrack I've ever heard in my fucking life. It's like hearing the fucking most annoying sound in the world from Dumb and Dumber on loop for 2 hours. It's a lot. And I don't know, like I kind of appreciate the a little bit of fuck you to the audience, and I don't really agree that it doesn't have, I don't think it has anything to say, but I do think that it has its own style. I agree with you on that, Bob. I don't agree that it's like completely try hard. I think it's definitely trying for something, but I just don't think it fully succeeds at it. That I agree with.
It feels like everything's stolen to me. I feel like there wasn't as ridiculous as this movie is. I don't feel like there was a moment where I felt like there wasn't a person. I felt like I was just watching a person doing their best to try to mimic something different. Or I mean, no, trying to mimic something better, trying to mimic something better that's like, but even it felt
I
like
think that
super
describes most movies, to be
well,
honest.
but it felt super late to me too. So even you mentioning the soundtrack and stuff like that, it kind of there are, and the color palette, like the pink color choice and stuff like that, there were things that reminded me of things that came out way before this. I guess it would be, I mean, some things that just kind of like popped into my mind, especially like with the soundtrack, would be like Adventure Time, or um like even some of those color palettes were, and even that kind of like style of just like kind of random things happening, and it played for like a goofy kind of quirky laugh or something, but it feels like way past its time. 2016, even there's like touches of things like Napoleon Dynamite in here, things like that where it's like
Yeah.
super quirky or whoa goofy, but it just feels so late to any kind of party that would capture on like any of those things. I don't know. It just I just every choice was so bad to me and just felt
Yeah, I
kind
don't.
of pathetic.
I did not feel that way about it. Like
Oh
I
man.
think it. I mean, it does things that those movies do, but I don't think that those movies exist in a period of time. Like I don't think Napoleon Dynamite, for as much as we remember it from our youths or whatever, that was also pulling from older shit too. Like everything pulls from older shit, and this is like clearly going for like a like disgusting, like bottom of the dumpster barrel L.A. in the like late '80s, early like it's just going for disgusting, like gross out shit, and I think it largely succeeds at that. I don't think that it those things have a time period. Like John Waters was doing that shit in the '70s. That doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily mean it can't be done again. Um,
Juice,
I
I
yeah.
did. I had a question for. Are you done, Rainey? I didn't mean to cut you off on your
No, that's fine. Cut me
train of
off. That's
thought.
fine.
I had a question for you, Juice. Do you remember back in the day you had an idea for this little invention called the penis cleavage pants?
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you remember that.
Oh, how could I forget?
PCP, that was high school, legit high school. Me and Mackenzie came up with that shit.
Jesus Christ.
PCP penis cleavage pants. And yeah, they exist in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude, I don't know that most people could rock the pants hanging that low,
That's
but
yeah, it's a low cut. But it's
I think
like,
that
you
would
got sometimes you show more cleavage than other like ladies show more cleavage than other
Sure.
ladies.
Sometimes
that's
you go
true.
So
full
yeah.
J
That's
Lo on
true.
that shit.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was trying to even the playing field, ladies can show off the cleavage, but I was like, hey, the guys got nothing to show off our cleavage. So I was thinking
Now
about
think
some
about that.
PCP penis cleavage pants.
There you go. If you want to donate, we've got to go fund us to get
We
this off the
don't.
ground
We
and
don't
Go
have
it'll
fund
that.
my
That doesn't
asshole.com. There it
exist.
is. Yeah. Um,
well, it's a genius idea, brother. That
Thanks for bringing it up, Bob.
mm.
you're welcome. Had to be done. Had
Yeah,
to
so
be
I mean, it's
done.
just like I don't know. To me, like there's something valuable. I don't know. I laughed a number of times at this movie. I'll tell you that every single fucking time it hard cut to him getting his ass beat by the car wash, I laughed pretty good. I don't know why that
Screaming.
shit.
Yeah.
Ah! Like there's something about that really landed for me. Uh, um, in
Yeah.
particular, but like also like the stilted line reads. Like this is like I don't know. It all works in this realm for of intentional badness and like audaciously so. It does hit all those marks for me. I think that it's doing pretty well at like pushing its audience and daring them to walk out of the film. I think that many people probably did. I don't know. There's some value to that to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not to me.
Mm.
Yeah. There's a handful of like absurd things that the dad says that made me laugh. He's like obsessed with greasy food, obviously. That scene of him like rubbing the grapefruit was fucking absurd. He thinks he's like
Hot
got
shit.
this swagger, and it's
Hmm.
like it's funny because he's so fucking gross, but I don't know. I don't know. I got a chuckle out of that. Him being obsessed with like creamy ass daiquiris and that being like the fucking best drink, the sexiest fucking drink in the world. That shit, I don't know, kind of the way he handles his food, I think kind of made me chuckle a little bit. I don't know.
I
There's
haven't
a
spent a ton of time. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were done.
no, yeah, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say I haven't spent a ton of time like in Southern California. I did spend a little bit of time there, like in the region, but in LA itself. But having walked around like modern day, like Grauman's Chinese Theater and
Mhm.
like Walk of Fame, all that sort of thing, and like even just like downtown LA and places like that. Having walked around those places a little bit, this place like captures a vibe, a really fucking gross and unappealing vibe that really exists there, and I kind of appreciate that too. It's like like this the idea that there's this dude selling the worst tour in the world, which is just him pointing out actually it does remind me of another Eric Tim Heidecker property on cinema, on cinema at the cinema, which is an ongoing series that they did on Adult Swim and other places. But it features this character of Greg Turkington, who, and it's a movie podcast where they say nothing and they suck at it, and so it very much reminds us of us, you know. But they this guy he'll do segments, terribly filmed segments of him going to famous movie locations, and it's like the most obscure fucking movie you've ever heard of, and it's like a fucking CVS parking lot or some shit like that. That's the vibe I get from this fucking thing, where it's like people making a lot of hay about how like a lot of majestic statements and a lot of like bullshit basically about the most mundane and kind of gross and unappealing places possible. There's something true about that in LA, at least in my limited experience there. I kind of appreciate that as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of old man ass in this, if you're into that kind of thing. Really linger on that quite a bit, you
I've
know?
also seen in one limited experience in LA, I have seen more than one person in the nude. And you know,
Is one of them
I don't know
yourself?
why. It was not me, you know. I mean,
I'm
I would
never
tell you.
nude. I was
Yeah,
never nude in LA.
I've never been nude.
Damn.
But no, like I mean, I don't know. There's something about that that hits for me, and I think it comes from me having been there for a minute and kind of seeing, I think, what sparked at least that part of this movie.
Yeah. Some of the I jotted down some quotes and like I feel uncomfortable even reading them back. There's
Read
just
it.
like
Read it, Bob.
Bob.
Oh
the
my God, I
shit.
can't.
The story the dad just like makes up all these fucking stories about him like being a big time famous dude
Big
partying
Ronnie.
up in the
Everybody's big
clubs,
something in this
big
movie too.
something. He tells a story about like hanging out with Michael Jackson and like going to the club and then banging these like Korean girls in the manager's office and spraying cum everywhere and like it's
Everyone
it's
clapped.
it's it's a
I think this
lot,
is the
dude.
first. This is what 2016. This came out. I think that wasn't quite a meme yet. And everyone clapped into to your bullshit story. I don't know that it was or wasn't, but I don't, to my knowledge, I don't remember ever hearing it before that time. So I think this movie maybe not originated that, but definitely made good use out of that.
Braden gets a finger in the old ass. You know, we've all been there. Surprise little
Brayden with his like micro
button
cock,
push.
like
Oh my God.
dude, the like insane fucking extended, disgusted pointing hog coming from the dad, and then
It's
his
so
little micro
gross.
version. It's very, very disgusting and very funny, in my opinion.
The Merkins are really popping off in this movie too.
I
They're
know.
huge. Huge.
They're like the absurdity, the absurdity. I like that. I don't know. The more I talk about it, I just kind of I kind of like this movie. I think.
My
I don't think
God.
it's one that I'm going to revisit, maybe ever.
Oh
I think I got my
God.
fill. I don't think I'm going to watch it 3 times myself, but I do think there's
Shots
something out of
fired.
Hmm.
Damn. One of them was out
it.
of duty, so I'm only guilty
Oh,
for
Out of
that's one of them.
duty.
One of them
No,
is a
Rob, I
duty.
blame you for this. Actually, this is where I don't
That's
blame G Baby at all. This was to make Bob happy.
that's fair. He does
He's
talk.
picked it for like several for poll picks or
Yeah.
whatever.
Jim does mention that in his voicemail, which we'll get
God.
to in a few minutes. But that's fair. I'll wear that. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't see the point of it, I guess, at the end of the day. Like the scenes that just go on, the potato scene. There's nothing, there's no choice in this film that I think was made that I like. Or
That
that I
was
think was a good choice.
the Porto situation was an experience the director had in real life where he was at a restaurant. I guess he
What?
doesn't eat meat and was trying to figure out whatever dish was made of, and the dude was saying potato, but I guess with an accent or pronouncing it incorrectly or whatever, and he had him say it over and over and over again to the point where he was like embarrassed that he had to keep asking because he didn't know what he's saying. I watched like half the commentary on this, thinking it would be illuminating. It wasn't by any means, so I didn't finish it, but there you go. There's the story there for you.
Oh man. I don't
Justin
know.
just shaking his head
I
this whole episode. I love it.
it's so garbage. It's just, it really is. Like, I know, like, and I'm even gonna go against, and like, I was gonna maybe say this a little bit for my review, but I really don't know what like much to say about this film. But you know, Randy sometimes goes on about art and like every movie's a miracle and like it's amazing that it gets made. But a
Yeah, I'm
part,
really full of shit.
you're really full of
You're a
shit.
bullshit artist.
But but just because something can be done doesn't mean like it should be. And the thing I'm gonna like really rail on this is the thing that I hate the most is it's one thing to say, dude, I have $10 and I want to make a movie, and it's like really shitty because of that, because of course you can't make a movie for $10 or whatever. So like anytime there's like a limitation on a film, I'm usually try to be like really forgiving on those kind of things. You know, and we even talk about like Skinamarink that was made on like what, like $10,000 or something like that.
Mhm.
But what like I feel kind of justified in like ripping every piece of this movie apart because it's all choice. Everything that I hate about this movie is the distinct choice that is made. This is the movie I want to make in this way. So in that capacity, I mean, I absolutely think that this is the vision that the artist wanted. That's the decision to, he wasn't limited by anything. If he had something else or if he could do something better, then it would have been a better film. I think he accomplished the vision he wants to do. And because of that, because he made that choice, because he wrote it this way, because he picked these actors and he wrote this line of dialogue, I hate it because of that. It's so fucking terrible because of that. Not through any limitations or any inability to accomplish what you want to accomplish. It's because you wanted to make some shit and it's shit. It would be like, yeah, I don't know. It would be like somebody trying to praise a pile of shit and me being like, well, no, it's shit. Like it is what it is. And
That's
I
art,
think it's
baby.
fucking garbage. I think it's fucking
I mean, art, like, what is that fucking oh man, the R Mutt urinal Dada, is it Dada?
Yeah, it's just
Artwork.
upside down urinal.
It's just an upside down urinal or whatever, just to be like, see, it could, and like, and then just see how people react to shit. And the thing
Yeah.
is, like, it kind of is art while also being a challenge to the idea of art having value. I think that's kind of where this exists. I don't know. Like, I don't agree. I don't. I think that there is like, I think making something completely singular and unique is something valuable, even if I don't like the outcome. And I don't like a lot. I don't like, there's a lot of this I don't like. And I think that's by design, A, and B, also like just out of my proclivities. But yeah, I get something out of this in terms of it being like, yeah, this person went for something and they found a very unique like way of speaking it through film, and that's harder to do than making something repetitive and or like something that doesn't have any of that. Like, I'd much rather watch this than any Rob Zombie film, to be
When,
honest with you. I'd much.
when you said that, have y'all ever seen that clip of John Lennon playing with oh, what's his name? And Yoko Ono's there and she starts singing and whoever the mixer guy, whoever's running sound literally just turns her mic off or
Jesus
whatever.
Christ.
Have
Yeah.
y'all seen that? Y'all
I
know
have
what I'm
not
talking
seen
No,
about?
I
that.
haven't seen
No.
God, who does he play with? So when Randy said speaking through film, it immediately made me think of that clip because John Lennon is playing with like one of his legends, one of the people he like looks up to, who's like, who is that? I can't remember who it is. But and then Yoko Ono just almost fucking ruins it, almost just shits all over it with her bullshit sounds. And someone saved that performance. Somebody made a decision to just say that is not okay, whether John Lennon allows it in his
It is okay.
realm
It's
or
his
not.
art.
Dude, but he shut it down and it's blessed because
You
of
may
it
like
because
it more for to
but
you, but
like
not to the artist. The
I
artist
know,
has final
but just for
say.
you to say like, oh, found some way to speak through it, it doesn't mean it has like, yeah, it doesn't have value for me. And so yeah, I'm saying like as a review of this film does not have
Sure.
value to me. It doesn't.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
I see
fine.
it in the same way of like
I
Yoko
also
Ono,
think
you
Yoko
know,
Ono
maybe
gets a
someone
fuck
likes
ton of
like
harshness.
Yoko Ono's like screeching as singing, but to me it has no value. And like in that performance, it had like no value to me and to like most people. And so it's just, yeah, like when I think about this film, like, oh, finding a unique way to speak, it just makes me think of like someone screeching into a microphone. It's just like it has no value to me. Yeah. So I will say to me, it has no value. 0%.
Well,
I definitely don't agree. I think that it's got value to put something that I mean, it makes me laugh, it shocks me, it challenges me to look away, and I don't think that I like love it by any means, but I feel like the need to stand up for it a little bit here because I think, yeah, having a singular vision, coming out with something that challenges people, that is art. That's more art than 99% of the shit we see.
plus a half star for the hog.
Oof, no.
Hogs, I should
Chuck
say.
Berry. He was playing with Chuck Berry.
Oh, that's I yeah, I've not seen that at
Well,
all.
I
It's a
mean,
funny clip
I have not
because
seen it.
even there's this moment I would recommend people check this out because they start playing regular at first and they get to some part of the song, like a chorus or whatever. Yoko Ono does start singing, and Chuck Berry's face is like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" And literally somebody like the mixer guy just it's gone after that. You can still see she's trying to sing, but there's no volume coming.
Mm,
It's
Oof.
really fucking
that's
funny.
Oof.
Yeah. I
Oof.
think, like, for the record, I think Yoko Ono gets a lot more shit than she deserves in general. But yeah, I mean, she's not gonna mesh with
She
Chuck Berry.
deserves it.
That's fine. She
Yeah.
doesn't. She really doesn't deserve to be one of the most hated people in the world for supposedly breaking up a band that she definitely didn't break up.
Oh
Well.
boys, don't let the Greasy Strangler break up this band, okay?
I won't. We're breaking up.
Don't let G Baby ruin a good thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, this movie is fucking weird, dude. It's fucking
Yeah.
weird. I don't, there's not like you can't, there's no layers to peel back. You just kind of talk about it visually and like the general content therein. I think that it does have an interesting visual style. I like the music. Like it is intentionally repetitious and it sort of like grinds on your nerves a little bit, like I mean the same way the movie does, but I think it matches the film. I think it was scored well in that way. It was
You're right.
dude, do I have his name? Andrew Hung wrote the music for this. He's from a band called the Fuck Buttons,
Oh God.
which I have listened to a
I've
little bit.
have heard of the
Um,
fuck buttons. I've not listened to them.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I agree with you. Like, I think that it matches what this. I think it works for what the movie's going for. I think
yeah,
it's what a movie's going for is intentionally fucking irritating in some way that is like, Jesus
totally.
Christ, are they really going for? Are they really doing this? Like, that's the reaction it gets, and I don't know, or at least it gets for me. And I'm like, I think that does match exactly what we're seeing on screen because like everything that happens in this movie is like that. Everything. The worst. I don't know. I think probably the thing I like least, again, like I said, is like how long it is. Like I really feel like this is like a maximum of a 45-minute short at its best in its best version. Um, and I don't think that we necessarily need to see like as much repetition as we see. I just don't think I think it's just it becomes repetitive. And by the end, when they start breaking out and like Braden becomes the Greasy Strangler and then just throttles Janet and all that stuff, like that shit just like goes completely off the rails. Like whatever like stock they had been building up completely
Yeah,
diminishes and like and writes off. And I would like if you're gonna do that, I feel like I wish I hadn't spent all that time getting what little investment I could into these characters because it just kind of oh if it's just gonna be more joke on me. It like I don't know. That's irritating in a way that I didn't appreciate as opposed to some of the like the music, for example.
yeah. It goes off a cliff at the end, and
Them
it's
like
just like,
seeing
ah, we
themselves
gotta
get
end it.
shot, it's
Yeah,
just confusing. Yeah, like it just doesn't know where to go, and that's fine
yeah.
for a sketch comedy, but it's
I
not as enjoyable otherwise.
I think this dude had made a couple shorts that like Elijah Wood and his producing partner had seen, and they probably did work better than this movie if I had to guess. I haven't seen them. And I guess they
Mhm.
wanted to see what this guy would make for a feature, and then this is what we got. And it does feel stretched out, and it does overstay its welcome for sure. Some it somewhat intentionally, but I don't think entirely intentionally because it doesn't
Yeah,
have any I mean, there's no wheels on this train. It's just sort of like sitting
The
there.
novelty
It's
wears
not
thin.
going anywhere.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
uniqueness, but it's a novelty. And that's the thing is like a
Yeah, yeah.
novelty can only carry you so far if it's also going to actively work against the audience's enjoyment. And that like
Mm.
that can only take you so far entirely on its own. So I don't know.
This
Like I've seen
is
like I really love the Tim and Eric movie, but it also like varies itself quite a bit from bit to bit. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't
yeah,
stay on the same rails
yeah.
the whole time and then careen off a cliff.
Yeah. This is one of those movies that like the best case scenario, the best way to watch this movie is at like a midnight screening in a theater that's completely sold out with people that are
Covered in
ready
grease.
to just laugh out loud and like, interact with it and just have a good time. Like that watching this on your own is not the way to do it for sure.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
like people watch Pink Flamingos and shit for the same reason they would watch this. It's just the
Yeah.
audaciousness of it and, pushing the
Trashy.
form,
Yeah.
whether or not it's like aesthetically pleasing. In fact, the less so the better because, hackiness is an expression as well.
Yeah. It is. It's a lot of choices. A lot of choices were made in this. I
Mhm.
don't know if we really need to like dive into it anymore. Are there any other major things you guys want to touch on?
If there's anything under the surface of this, it went way over my fucking head and I'm not interested. So I'm fine
Yeah,
with
It's like
I don't.
fucking like gross. Like part of like watching it, it's like so unappealing and like other than just like, oh, this is like really dumb or the music's annoying or it's grating, it's also just like them eating that fucking grease on the toast, dude. It's just fucking gross. And that
it's
dick
like
is
silly
fucking
gross though
gross.
too. Like to me it's
It's
like
just
fucking
so fucking dumb. It's just
uh,
dumb.
That Halloween
somebody
costume, if you could dress up as Ronnie with his like penis cleavage pants disco outfit for Halloween, you're winning. You're winning the night.
dude, I don't know like I'm a little confused because like even are you talking about the outfit that he's wearing in this shot that's behind me that I've used as
Yeah,
my digital background?
yeah,
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
I don't think that's cleavage, man. I think his
Well,
just
at
dick
one
and
point
balls are
he did have it
completely out.
tucked in.
Okay.
At one
Okay, I
yeah.
point
must
it
have
was
missed that
tucked. It
then.
was
Because it
tucked
is
Tucked
a
into
in.
the
full
leg. Yeah.
flop. It's not even a hog job,
No,
it's a
no,
hog
no,
jostle.
no.
Like,
No, it was tucked in at one point,
okay, all right. But
Holstered,
in the
if you will.
if you
film, like
will.
he's like fully like putting it like thrusting pelvic first the
Yeah.
entire time he's wearing it too. It's just so fucking like silly, absurd, gross to me that I kind of have a hard time being super grossed out by it. The grease more so, but like that sort
We,
of thing, like it's just kind of like it does not it's not close enough to a real wiener for me to be like, oh my
it's a
god, it's
triangle for God's sakes, like with
I
a
know
point. It's like a pencil.
I know it's fucking
God.
weird. It's like fucking I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a
Oh.
torpedo. It doesn't have a real shape.
Oh
When
my
that
It's I don't know. It
man
God.
makes me laugh.
gets his hot dog and it's not greasy enough, and he just completely
He
dunks it in the
dunks that
grease
shit.
trap and fucking slams it. It's disgusting, but I found that funny. It's like so absurd.
There wasn't
That's
a
right. Like,
moment in this film where I chuckled.
Not a
that's a shame.
single moment. Damn.
See,
No.
like you're kind of reacting to this like not I don't think I was this harsh on it, but like at the way I reacted to Deerskin a little bit, where I was like just not feeling the humor of it,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like I completely understand that. Like to me, like this hits more my funny bone because it's just like absurd, gross out shit. Like, yeah, take it to the fucking extremes, and as long as it's not like if it looked real, like if it truly looked real, then I would probably be like grossed out to the point of not wanting to watch. But it doesn't. It looks fucking like gack. It looks like Vaseline. Like it's gross in a like and sort of like a stylized way.
There was one moment in this where I thought, I bet Bob is losing his shit. I just only thought
Just
I
one.
didn't
I
think
was
it was funny, but I was like, I could just
was
see
it,
Bob and hear the wop wop
I think I
wop
know what
wop
this is.
wop wop. Wop. What do you? I want to guess, Randy. What do you think it is?
Was it when Big Ronnie's like, "Well, come close. I got something to tell you," and then he
No,
rolls back and lays a huge fart. That was it?
No, it
No,
wasn't
I
that
thought that
one.
was it.
It was
That
when
was pretty
it
gross.
was when Janet starts like talking out of her butt or whatever when they're like dancing or whatever, but
Not
then
out of
she
your
like
butt.
yeah,
Not
not
your
your
butt.
butt, Janet.
Not your
Yeah.
butt.
Janet,
I was
not your
like, I
That's
butt.
bet
pretty
Bob
fucking
is
funny to me.
loving. I only found it entertaining in the fact that I was thinking about Bob finding it entertaining. If I didn't have a thought of Bob in my mind, it would not have been
I thought it
entertaining.
was pretty funny. Like it wouldn't have been funny if he hadn't been like, not with your butt, Jan. Like the
You're like,
anguish is what
what?
got me.
Yeah. She goes full Ace Ventura, but you see the butt. It's
But you
like,
see the hole. Like,
The
yeah,
like my
it's,
God.
she is making it talk. Jesus.
God.
I
I don't think I laughed at
Just
that as hard
innocent,
as
man.
you think. I did laugh at it, to be clear, but oh
No
man.
one no one doubts that.
Let's rate this. Let's do it. Out of
Sure.
5. Juice, why don't you kick us off?
No, let Randy go first.
Oh,
He
okay.
likes this
Randy.
movie.
Randy, 5 stars from Randy, apparently.
Um, I guess no. Yeah. I mean, I don't like it that much. I think that it's like, I don't know. I feel like a little bit of like I need to stick up for it if it's gonna face
That's why I
that
want you
much
to go
trashing.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for my money, like I think there is definitely value to putting something completely unique into the world, so long as it's not like actively hurting anybody. That's there's caveats to that, but nothing about this to me like crosses the boundaries of what I would consider like I don't know, offensive, truly offensive. Like I don't know. I think that there is something to challenging the edges of the format and really pushing on them and also pushing on what audience acceptability is and also tapping into I think something that you know people were interested in. This is 2016. Like if you're gonna make an argument that this is like, oh, it's try hard. It's coming at the end of things. It's coming at the end of the line of all these other things. It's riding on coattails. Well, I don't know because also like the Adult Swim shorts and all those things that are comparable to this, and Tim and Eric, like those were all contemporaries to this movie, not necessarily like immense
I
forerunners.
think
This
they
is
were
within
before. I think they were beforehand.
2016. No, no, not.
I would put them around like 2011, 2010.
Yeah, that's well within 10 years of this. That's 5 years of difference. That's not
I mean,
that
five
much.
years difference is big for some cultural like aesthetic decisions.
Yeah, but maybe it is for something that's like a huge deal. But Tim and Eric and things like that, those were subversive. This is continuing a lineage of subversive things. I don't know. I think there's a value to subverting good taste and indulging in trashiness and those sorts of things. All that said, like this is just like more than I wanted out of this conceit. It just kind of went off the rails in a way that wasn't. It just stopped being enjoyable after a while. Like the novelty of it wore off on me.
First episode
So
2007 on Cartoon Network, Tim and Eric.
yeah, I mean, okay, so like it's
So
within 10 years.
10 years.
That's not that crazy for subversive art. Like like the lineage of art is not quick. Fucking I don't know. Pink Flamingos was in the fucking like early 80s. I mean, we're still making 80s pastiches
Well,
now.
I just like when I said I think this is very late, I think that holds true with like stuff like this coming out 2007 to 2010 and 11, it being its most prominent time, and then this coming 5 years
But I don't think you
after
can think of
that.
any other movies quite like this. Movies quite like this. And that's like so it's still using something that yeah, like was maybe like has been pioneered in other places, but pushing it further into a specific kind of medium. I don't think it's like let me finish my review though, because I know we got time limits. So yeah, there are things about it that I don't love. Like, and I'm not like super into like like just challenge alone is enough necessarily. But for the sake of a movie that just doesn't have really many comparison points in the film world, in my opinion, I think that that has some value, and I'm interested. I'm glad that something like this can still get made, and that you can push on the boundaries of things the way that this does. I think that it made me laugh quite a few times. It's making me laugh a lot more in retrospect too. Um, so like, and that's not necessarily an indicator of much, but that is something. But all that said, like it overstays its welcome too much, and it's at best hitting a pretty strong novelty button for me. So with that in mind, I'm going to go with a 3.25, I think.
3.25 from Randeezy.
Bomb
Right.
out of 5. Where are you gonna rate the Greasy Strangler?
I I don't love this movie, but I do think it has some value. Like it is a singular type of film. Like it's hard for me to think of anything to compare it to really. I think it's got a few gags that work. The absurdist comedy I generally vibe with. I think this is a little too gross for my personal taste. Like the trashiness of this movie like does put me off. But that like gigantic fake wiener is funny. It like overstays its welcome, but it is like the first time you see it, I thought it was funny. Um, the music works, the sort of general look and like just feel of this movie works at first. It just goes on too long and there is no real point to it other than that weird wiener. It's just I don't
That's
know,
the
man.
point.
It's like it definitely overstays its welcome. That's really my biggest complaint. If this was like a 20-minute short, I think it really would pop better. Like I said, there's a handful of lines that got me. But yeah, it's weird and hard to recommend. I'm glad it exists. I do want to like specifically give Spectravision some love for making this because like nobody else would have ever made this movie. And I'm glad that they're investing in artists that nobody else would ever work with, even if I don't love all the movies, because thanks to them, we also got Mandy, which I think all three of us enjoyed quite a bit. Also, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night happened because of Spectravision. I love that movie. These are all very strange movies that would have a very difficult time being made because they are yeah, they just have kind of a singular vision to them, for better or worse, and I'm glad that somebody is out there trying to help strange films be made in a world where it's, increasingly more difficult to do so. So even if this isn't particularly my taste, I'm glad it's out there. I know people do love it, and I'm not upset that I've seen it. I think we had a decent conversation about it too. So for what that's worth. For me, though, I think I'm going to give this like a 1.5. Well, I was going to give it a 1 plus a half star for the hog action, so a one and
For
a
the hog,
half
you got to.
from your boy
You know what's
Bob.
interesting? You made me
Hmm?
think of something though. Like it kind of is in the zone of like a trauma film, but it's like high art trauma. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I guess, yeah, I could, yeah, yeah, more artsy fartsy trauma, yeah.
Yeah, it's elevated trauma movie.
Oh, my lord.
Just what we need in this
That's
world.
what the world was wanting.
Yes,
That's why I wouldn't. I'm glad this movie exists, but I really like. We don't need to make it a bunch of times, people. Let's not learn that
yeah,
lesson. Exactly. The
yeah,
lesson is make some weird shit and try some stuff.
yeah. Try some new shit. 1.5 for me though. Juice. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I can find value in strange things. And there are things that are similar to this that I do enjoy or laugh at or get the comedy in or just get the absurdist value in. But like I said, I don't know. Even when I was mentioning like, oh, the music kind of reminds me of things like Adventure Time. Again, 2007. There are like so many aesthetic and creative choices that put me in the realm of things that were felt fresh and different and new within the era of like 2007 to 2011. So when I watch this film and I see it came out in 2016, on top of the choices that are made to like push the audience and to be actively annoying and to be actively like gross and to be actively unappealing, on top of, I don't know, there's something that rubs me wrong about, I feel like there's a lot of things in here. It's one thing to do that from a vision of your own mind, to really kind of be like, I came up with this idea and I'm bringing it to life, but a lot of this feels kind of ripped off to me, and it feels like late to the party. It feels like it accumulated all the kind of weird ideas of the past like 8 years, and somebody who enjoyed those things thought that they could put some fresh spin or use those ingredients in some fresh dish. But to me, it all just feels kind of ripped off, or it all feels kind of like way too late to the party. Like you just took those elements and tried to make it your own, but to me it doesn't seem like your own. It seems just like these a bunch of annoying things thrown together in an annoying kind of way. I don't know, it doesn't feel like super original to me in that way. So while I do think this movie is a very weird singular type of thing, all the pieces that make it up feel kind of ripped off to me, honestly, from much more successful things. And yeah, I really like from the very beginning, I truly don't for me personally, and I'm not, and I have no like vendetta against this thing. I don't know who made this or like, so like from the very beginning,
Except for Elijah.
well, yeah, I do have a vendetta against Elijah, I guess.
Well established.
But I didn't know, so I didn't know that he had anything
Sure.
to do with this movie until Bob announced it. But like the actor choices, the lines that were written, the time it takes to deliver some of these things, I swear I didn't find anything funny about this. I didn't think it was funny at all. I didn't like the color choices, the color palettes, the eating the grease, like the nonsensical story and where it goes and how it ends. It's nothing to me. Absolutely nothing.
You're
And
nothing to me.
and because of that, because sometimes we do, we're like, okay, this is a blah 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 film, but my enjoyment of it or my nostalgia value or something kind of gives it this bump or whatever. I mean, I think Hocus Pocus got a 5 or whatever. It's not a 5-star film, but like, like some, but in the same way, I truly feel like there's no reason for me to have ever watched this or to watch it. I have no value in it. There's nothing that I ever want to pull from this movie to say like that was something that was interesting or fun. I didn't. Nothing about this was good to me. Nothing. So I'm gonna give it a 0 star. Like
Damn.
I
Damn,
decided as soon as it was done, I was like, I have nothing from this film impacts me in any positive way. Nothing.
dude.
I think it's like as soon as I was done, I was like, that's definitely top 10, maybe top 5 worst films I've ever had to watch for this podcast. In 10 years, this is for sure in the top 10, probably top 5.
Dude, I don't think I can recall of a movie that you've ever given a 0
I
to.
don't think that's
So
ever happened.
I would
Has
put this at
anybody?
your number 1.
I
Maybe
Drew
think
Kid.
Drew did. I think Drew did
I
once.
think
Ghosts of
I
Mars.
think I tried. I think I tried for like The Farm sticks out to me, and maybe even that zombies blah 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 blah, like
Oh yeah.
like
Oh,
when I
Mixed up
was thinking
zombies.
about the
Mixed Up
top 5
Zombies?
worst films we've ever had to cover for this
That's
film, those were
oof.
the ones that started to pop in my head. The Farm and that movie, and now this movie. Like I just yeah.
I think it's far and away better than those films, but
I do. I agree
that's
with
me.
that. Yeah. Yeah. All right, 0 from Juice. That's going to put our aggregate at a 1.6 for the Greasy Strangler.
Right.
As per usual, whenever you guys pick a flick for us to review, we encourage you guys to send over an email or a voicemail with your own thoughts about the film as well as your rating. And Jim did send us a voicemail, so let's go ahead and hear what he has to say.
Hey, straight chillin' crew and fellow children. It's G Baby calling in to discuss and apologize in advance for my U pick, the Greasy Strangler, which, full disclosure, I think I had let Bob on a bit that I had actually seen this previously. Well, I had not. Yeah, it's one that's been on my radar for years, and I just never watched it. And I'd seen this thing on like 2 or 3 poll picks, and it never won. So I was like, "Fuck it, let's light this sucker off and see what see what happens here." So here we are. So this movie features Big Ronnie, Big Ronnie's dick, and his son Big Braden. Fucking Big Ronnie, dude's got a straight basket on him. Lucky for Naderade, we have some next level hoggage in this one. Old boy's packing a damn isosceles triangle shaped like a tapeworm, blown out fruit roll up in the shape of a wizard hat. This thing's fucking just horrific. I did have a stray thought too. I thought Big Ronnie he has like a startling cadence and resemblance of like a Brad Dourif. Like Brad Dourif's weirder older brother. Maybe it's just me. Then we got Braden, his dopey ass son, who I think most would agree kind of comes across like a Eric Wareheim of Tim and Eric, but sounds like Owen Wilson, head ass. And then I liked Janet, the gal who she did a great job. I thought most would probably remember her from Eastbound and Down as Maria, Stevie Janowski's wife. So this movie, it's like these two are just like it's like a third grader and a sixth grader. They just got older, but they stayed the same mentally, and it's kind of like a really fucked up Napoleon Dynamite Wes Anderson flick if it were directed by like a composite of Tom Green and David Lynch from some alternate dimension. Reminded me of like an old Adult Swim late night, like Aqua Teen, Xavier Renegade Angel, Assy McGee. It's fucking really stupid, and it makes me feel gross on the inside. There's only a select few I'd be like, hey, watch this. It's more of a thing if it came up and someone else liked it, but also would never otherwise recommend or talk about it. And you could share a laugh or an inside joke and look back like, God, yeah, what a fucking weird, grimy ass fucking flick. Some of the effects are pretty cool. Dude getting his face punched in like Gumby, eyeballs popping out. The constant like going back to the fucking car wash shower and the blind car wash operator. That shit's got me pretty good. Soundtrack, the score is pretty fucking rad. It sounds like they were able to like harness the twin dragons of Mark Mothersbaugh and Dan Deacon. I felt like it really fit the tone of the film. Few memorable quotes I thought were pretty funny. Were obviously the bullshit artist shit back and forth was pretty funny. I could feast on that queen's ass all night long. I need to lubricate this world. And come on, Rodney, play the game. All those got me really good. Anyway, I know I'm running pretty long here. I just thought this would be a fun exercise for the three of you guys to rap about. So thank you, and I'm sorry. G Baby out. Love you guys. Bye.
I'm
Man,
sorry.
listening
that
to
hits the
G Baby
proper
talk
tone.
about that movie is more entertaining.
the man's
He's a
got a
wordsmith.
silver tongue.
Yeah.
What is that? A fruit rolled like a wizard's hat?
A wizard's
That's pretty great.
spoken like a
That's pretty great.
dad right there.
Oh man, that shit. Yeah, I think that's the right cadence to take this. One was like, yeah, this is not a movie you recommend to people, but if you have a shared experience of seeing this movie, it'll have a fun conversation attached to it. I think.
Yeah, for sure. I was way looking forward to having this conversation more than I was watching this movie again. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I will say
Absolutely.
this: like, I would never watch this movie. I would not never, but like, I have no intention of ever watching this movie again. But I might throw on a clip or two of like 30 seconds of Hootie Tootie Disco Cutie just to make me
Oh,
laugh. I think I
God.
would. That shit made me laugh pretty good.
Oh,
God.
Hootie tootie disco kitty.
The
Jesus
culture.
Christ.
The culture.
Someone's got to stand up for the culture. It's going to be a brave man named Soju.
Self-proclaimed brave man. Soju.
Yeah. That's
Jim,
how you
thanks
know.
thanks for picking this flick. Jim,
Thanks,
sorry,
G-Baby.
sorry you didn't like it quite as much as you thought you might, or hoped anyways. Weird one, but hopefully you enjoyed the conversation. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into our Rotten Tomatoes segment and see what the critics and users have to say about the Greasy Strangler.
Certified fresh to death.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have these gentlemen guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is on RottenTomatoes.com. So we're starting with the critics score. There are 55 total reviews, not a whole hot heaping ton here, just 55 on the Tomatometer, which is critics. I'll start with Juice on this one. Juice, where do you think the Tomatabata is going to come across at 55 reviews? What percentage is positive?
Well, I think artists are just going to try to be slick and like praise this movie and like think that that they're being
Those slick artists
trying to be insightful or some bullshit. So it's probably going to be stupidly high, higher than 0%. That's for sure. So I don't know. I think I'll take the 69 dudes just cause like
Okay, all right. Just well, it is appropriately gross.
69 dudes!
yeah, might as well have some fun with it.
All right, Bob, how you falling on this one? Where are you falling on this one?
I gotta assume Juice is being very generous here. I don't think this is gonna be high at all. I could see it being like potentially in the single digits, like really low. But I won't go that low. Just try and play the game a little better. I'll just take it right down the middle with a 50.
Down the middle with a 50. Well, let me do the math. Yeah, one of you is 7 points away from the correct answer. That correct answer being 62%. Soju's going to take this
Damn.
one. 62
Mhm.
percentile.
That is
Soju
surprising.
knows. Soju knows. These
Oh,
artists
Artists
God.
trying
don't
to be
know. Soju
insightful.
The
knows.
brave, all-knowing
People
Soju.
only
Hey.
idiots find insight in film.
Hey, all I'm saying is hell yeah.
That is
Oh
all
my
I'm
God.
saying.
Randy,
All
I
right.
can't believe you didn't mention incels this whole time, the whole
I
conversation.
don't, man. What's the point? Like, like we'll get to the cooter segment.
We've all
Um,
given up.
um. All right, moving over to the poopometer, the popcornometer, the whatever, the critic, or
Ha,
I'm sorry, the
phenomena.
users. There's 1,000 plus, just 1,000 plus ratings from the users on this film. Keep that in mind as you tell me what percentage you think are positive reviews. Starting with Bob, 1,000 plus. What do you think?
Well, now I don't know, like fucking anything
I
apparently.
know.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I still think it's gonna be low. It's got to be lower than the critics. All right, fart sniffing critics, whatever. Quite literally some farts in this movie to sniff. This is not a crowd pleaser. This is not an accessible movie. It's very fucking weird and off-putting. So God, how low to go? I'll take a. I'll just take a 33.
33. All right. Juice, how about you?
I could be wrong, but the way I see this from a user's perspective is kind of similar. I feel like this is one of those movies that on the other end of the spectrum, like people praise things like Sallow because they feel like it kind of makes them special to have watched it and to tell people they like it. So
I
in
feel
this
really called out by all of your rationale.
so in the same way, I think this is one of those movies where people like attach it to themselves and be like, "Oh, dude, you gotta check out this Greasy Strangler," and people are like, "Oh, it's weird." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I like weird shit, bro."
Because
So
it's a
I
deep cut, and you get to like inform people, I guess.
kind of, yeah. Like, or and then when people think it's weird, they're like, "Oh yeah, you get to like take that on as part of your personality of like, I like weird shit, bro." Like, I don't know. I think it's gonna have some of that. I'm gonna double down with the 69.
All right. Well,
Okay, I got to do a little math here. So
wow.
beep boop beep.
Porto.
God.
Porto
Right.
meter.
Okay, so I I don't know the exact distance because you guys are it's right kind of in between you guys at a 56. So Soju, you
I'm
are
gonna
going to take
take
this
it,
one.
and
You are
that's a hell
closer.
yeet sweep. Soju
There you go.
knows. Soju knows.
Jesus Christ.
Do-do-do-do!
All right.
I'd like to meet that dad.
I think I'm on a
I
hot
think-
streak now since we hit 500. That was
Dude,
that two hell yeet
This is
sweeps,
the
maybe?
first thing
I
we've
don't know how you can
recorded.
keep track.
in,
Yeah, I
like-
don't know how you can keep track.
Well, our
We did
episode
everything out of
dropped
order,
yesterday, and I
too.
listened to it. So
Oh, okay.
Do-do-do-do.
Well,
I
that's your
typically
mistake.
listen to it. Yeah.
All right, so that's we got a 56%. So yeah, like right down the middle. I think that I think that there are people that just like weird stuff. Man, I don't think it's necessarily a character.
Yeah, but they're
flaw.
losers.
Yeah,
Randy.
but yeah, they don't matter.
They're poobly kids.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of.
I just hate them so much.
All right, let's go to some of the negative reviews and see what things people have to say about the Greasy Strangler. Here's one that I actually think is
God.
kind of prescient. Like a winded joke without a punchline. I think he meant to say long-winded. I would have anyway. Like a winded joke without a
Like a
punchline.
long
Yeah, I think that they
dick without a
ultimately
punchline.
I think the long dick is the punchline. But yeah, like it's a lot of wind up in this movie, and the ending really does kind of like
Yeah.
does nothing, even if you're into the novelty of the thing. At least for me. Um, so that's not funny, but that might be. Man, this is interesting. Okay, this person wrote, with its relentlessly crude filmmaking, the Gonzo horror comedy feels like Beavis and Butthead tried to make a mashup homage to John Waters and David Lynch, except the movie is never remotely funny or scary. Man, I'm shocked how many people see David Lynch in this thing. Truly,
It's Lynchian, Randy. Just accept it.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't know
really see it
how.
either, honestly.
I
Other than
don't.
it's
I
just
don't know.
weird and David Lynch
Yeah,
is
well,
weird. I don't
it
think,
just takes its time with things, but like that's intentionally to be grating, not to give you time to sit with it or something like that. But I
yeah.
see the John Waters up and down like that. That seems pretty
Yeah.
clear. Um, yeah. All right. Well, I just thought it was interesting this how many people have brought up David Lynch in this conversation. All right. So that's it, everybody. That's our Rotten Tomatoes segment. Bob, do we have time for trivia? Do you have any trivia? What do you think?
I'll just say one thing real quick. There really wasn't a whole lot of trivia on this. So if you guys remember towards the end of the movie, they're sitting on the beach and then Ronnie goes on this weird tale about how he's like partying with John Travolta in New Orleans. They're going to open up a club, et cetera, et cetera. It seems very out of left field that he would mention John Travolta or Michael Jackson for that matter. But apparently in real life, Michael St. Michael's, that actor who plays Ronnie, was John Travolta's hairdresser.
There you go.
All right.
I didn't know that. He's been in a
Weird.
few other things, but I don't remember what they were.
Yeah,
This
I
actor.
couldn't tell you
Like
off the top of
nothing
my head.
huge, obviously, but yeah, I don't know.
Nothing as huge as
He's a journeyman
this.
actor, is how he was described.
Yeah.
So
But that was about it. Not a whole lot of trivia. Let's talk Cooter of the Week, boys.
Straight chillin'. Gooder of the week.
Juice. What is a Cooter and why is everyone in this movie a Cooter?
Oh, Cooter's character type and a straight chillin' exclusive. Cooter has to hit through these 5 points to be considered a Cooter, but we want the Cooter with the most points, and this should be quite easy. The 5 points of Cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall looking attire, and overall patheticness. I think we're gonna have a 5-star Cooter here today, boys, and our boy
the
Big
question
Ronnie.
is there going to be more than one? Is the
I mean,
question.
there could be three.
Yeah,
I
5-star
think
Cooter.
everyone in
Yeah.
this movie rates on the scale by design. Everything that happens in this
Well,
movie
I don't.
rates.
Okay, so Big Ronnie definitely has the smug arrogance, the sexual
Yes.
deviance, the
Absolutely.
manipulation, the look and
Yes.
attire, and the overall
Yes.
pathetic. Like, no
Yes.
question of for
That's
any
a
of those
sweep.
points.
That's
Like
and
an
it's like
easy
hitting on
sweep.
high levels.
A
of the
blazing
Geiger counter.
Cooter. Yeah.
Yeah. He's hitting up there with mini
Like
sands.
it's
Mini
like
Jeremiah
immediate to
Sand
come
levels.
up with
Yeah.
an example for each one of those. But Braden, does he
Braden?
hit all 5 so easily? I don't
Well,
know.
let's talk about it. I'm not sure either.
Smug arrogance is not as high for sure.
No, I think he kind of adapts some of his father's
Yeah.
swagger
Towards
at the
the
end,
end.
but I
Yeah.
don't know how much of that is posturing. Like I don't know. It's tough to
Most
say.
of the movie, he's very insecure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's why he hits high on the patheticness scale.
He's
Is like the
quite
insecurity
pathetic,
and
yes.
also like throttling the woman that you supposedly are fighting for. I don't understand. I don't understand that turn of events. But
I don't understand any turn of event with Janet. Or Janet? Janice? What is it?
Janet.
Janet.
Yeah.
Janet.
Damn it.
And it's kind of like completely wackadoo. I don't understand
Yeah.
where she's coming from. Well, we can get to her if we need to, but I
Yeah.
don't know what else for Braden before we get to that.
Looking at tire.
Look
yeah.
at the tire, man. Just like the pink outfits they wear for their tour
Jesus
that is
Christ.
beyond a choice. I don't understand. That is like the most Tim and
Those
Eric
fucking
aspect to me
tube
is that
socks.
outfit.
Oh my God.
What else? What are we missing here? Manipulation, not so much. So yeah, I guess he kind of like he's definitely lower ranking on any point that he hits than Ronnie is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Even
so
if
I
he
don't
hits
think
all of
beats
them, he's
Ronnie.
lesser. Yeah. But I don't think he hits. Yeah.
I think he qualifies for a cooterdom, just not on the same Richter
Yeah.
scale.
Sexual deviance for him? Does he ever
Maybe not.
Actually,
'Cause it
maybe
could-
not. I don't know. He's
Yeah.
it's
I think
not really. Yeah, I think it's all consensual. I don't think he's.
Yeah.
Not that I
I
can
don't think he
remember.
really-
Mm-mm.
yeah, he does crap the bed though. So. mean,
Allegedly, but she's into it towards the end. She said she'll rub it on her
smear it
tits.
on my tits. Yeah,
You
she
know?
does.
I
She does
mean,
say that. Anyway, so hey, that's not deviance then. I guess.
yes, they're
Ooh.
into it, you know, if that's what you're
Ooh.
Think
into.
shame we
Oof.
don't. Anyway, all right.
Yeah,
I think Ronnie like is I think if somebody
Yeah.
sat down to write a movie centered around I have to have the biggest cooter as defined by straight chilling podcasts I can possibly put into film, they would make this character.
Yeah, there you go. And they did. That's probably why.
He's ground zero.
In 2016.
There
We
you
we
go.
were a podcast then. They were
We
listening
were.
to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
They did, yeah. They heard us talk about Jeremiah Sand and they were like, we
See,
can do better.
This is mostly
In
your fault,
2018,
Juice. You see,
This is mostly my
your
fault.
fault.
Mostly my fault.
Do you see
I would
what
say
you've done?
95, 96%.
The mess that you've made? Are you proud? Are you proud?
I am proud. I'm a
Uh,
proud man.
I'm a
Uh-huh.
proud boy.
Uh-huh.
I'm a proud, brave soju.
Smug arrogance, you say. Please do go on.
Bob, you know,
my ding dong.
I'm the most humble man, you know.
I know
I'm
because
just a
you tell
humble
me
motherfucker
all
with a
the
big ass
time.
dick.
If only you'd believe me.
All
If you
right.
just yell it more, maybe I will. Should we, Janet?
Did you know
what about,
that I'm more humble than anyone you've ever met?
Bob, why don't
be
you
impressed
believe me?
with my humbleness?
Look at me. Look at me.
You guys think I'm
I-
trying
I'm
to impress
humble.
Bob? Y'all are crazy.
You really are. You really
Smug
are a pick-me
arrogance.
girl for
Please do
Bob.
continue. What about Janet? Is she's like, I would say she's sexual deviant for sure. And this,
Yeah, she's all over the map though. Like she's like, I don't know how to even parse what she's thinking in most situations.
She
So,
just
Yeah.
she's more of like a device than anything.
she's kind of a
else.
vehicle for things.
she
Yeah.
seems to just want to fuck.
She's not like a coherent character.
disco kitty.
I think that's Hootie Tootie Disco Cutie is about the most defining feature.
Sexual deviance.
Yes.
Is she
Manipulation,
pathetic?
kind of.
Yeah, yeah, I would say.
I mean,
I would
when
say,
she
yeah.
starts like, I mean, if it wasn't for the bit where she yells Hootie Tootie Disco Cutie immediately after like falling in love with Braden and then immediately swapping over to
Yeah.
Big Ronnie,
Yeah.
like, and then she's taunting him and then she switches back, like, too
Doesn't
confusing,
make
man.
sense.
I don't know.
What's
I don't know
happening?
how to parse
Yeah.
that, even for Cooter.
Yeah. But I mean, patheticness, yeah. Looking
Yeah.
entire, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
sexual
it's dated.
deviance. So yeah, I mean,
everyone in
she's
this
up.
movie-
She's higher than Braden. So I would say Big Ronnie, Janet,
Janet, Braden.
Braden.
Well, yeah,
That's
Big
it.
Ronnie takes the cake. If we want the biggest cooter of the movie, it's fucking Big Ronnie.
And
Big
we
Ronnie's
want
big
him.
cooter. We got him.
Open up a can of whiff ass.
With ass. That's a
got his
5-star
ass.
cooter. Holy shit. All right.
Yep. All right. Segment done.
We got him. We're skipping what we've been watching because we got a few voicemails to get to. So let's go and do our hotline screams.
Hotline scream.
Hotline screams. If you guys are listening and would like to call and leave a voicemail to be featured on a show in the future, hit us up at 904-638-3231. We got kind of a backlog here from the month of October because, like I said, it's been a while since we've recorded. We had a few shows in the can. First up, we are going to hear from Chris. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Hey, Straight Chillin' Crew, this is Chris in Louisiana. Listening to the Halloween triple feature episodes, always that's like my favorite episode of the year, the triple feature. So thank you guys for doing that. It always makes me wonder whenever I'm listening to it. Do you guys ever reveal what the other picks were, or is it just lost forever and we'll never know? Because that would be really cool to know what we could have gotten. But you know, the triple feature that we got this year was pretty solid. Sans Casper. But that's just, I mean, it's a good movie, but I just have this personal thing with stupid Bill Pullman and his dumb face every time I see him in a movie. Just makes me angry and I can't get past it. And I don't know why, but anyways, it was funny during the Ghostbusters segment because Randy said Chris Rock multiple times and I was like, I'm pretty sure Chris Rock was maybe like 16, 17, at the time that movie came out. So I don't know what that was about. But yes, Eddie Murphy makes a lot more sense. So anyways, yeah, it'd be really cool to know what the other picks were that didn't get selected. If that could be revealed at all. All right, thanks guys. Have a good spooky season. Talk to you later. Bye.
And I'm still turning red about the Chris Rock debacle.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think last year
But-
Bob said on Slack what he had picked, I think.
I
But,
did, yeah.
yeah,
I don't
think-
necessarily
Did you?
mind sharing. I don't know how you feel
I
about
don't
it,
care because
Randy.
I won, so
I
everybody
kind of
Oh,
keep
that
it close,
pick.
but
humble.
I kind of keep it close, but I don't know. I kind of have this. I have not talked to you guys about this before, but I had this idea that to take some of our previously used themes and reworking them, or putting them into
Mhm.
next year's or another year's later down the line
Another
as a
poll.
second attempt.
Yeah.
But Juice hasn't lost yet, so he would just be absent that
That's
poll.
true.
So
I
I
wouldn't have
don't know
any
if that would
choices.
work. So I don't know how that works yet.
Yeah.
But if you want to reveal, I don't care. Go for it. I'm gonna have to look at
I
this
don't
one
even
more.
remember. Yeah.
My theme was Thrill Me was the title of it. And I
Oh.
had movies that were set around like fun houses. And the movie Funhouse was one of them. Hellfest was another one. And House of a Thousand Corpses was the third.
That's right. Well, mine was Lost and Found, which I thought was pretty blunt and pretty connectable to me. So,
Yeah.
So pick it because you like Randy, is what he's saying.
You love me, right? No, they did not. Well, no, I guess I came in coin flip, so thank you.
That's true.
Actually, Horror in the High Desert 1 would have been the first one on that, and then Hell House Origins Carmichael Manor would have been the second, and then the surprise YouTube sensation Milk and Cereal would have been the third for that one, which
Ooh.
I still want to talk about very badly. So
That
yeah,
is interesting. That's a good one.
yeah. So yeah, there you go.
We were all over the
Songs.
place with our picks. Like,
We
damn.
were, yeah.
Yeah, there's a large variety there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thanks for calling, Steve. Glad you enjoy our triple features, man. They
Yeah.
are fun to do, and it's
We
nice
love
to
'em.
know people dig listening to them. So yeah. We'll see what we happen to do next year, and maybe the humble juice will somehow lose, but probably not.
Now he'll probably win, and
probably
it'll be all Bill Pullman films. So choose wisely.
I
That's
love
my
that
theme.
everybody
Bill.
My
everybody
theme is-
has like that actor. It's like their fucking face.
Yeah,
For
but
whatever
yeah.
reason, you
so
just
I don't. I'll have to think about who mine is, but yeah,
fucking.
My
I think
theme's
gonna
gonna
that'll be a
be
prompt
called
for Hotline
I'm-
Screams. Is
I'm
who's your
ju-
actor that you just
that you
irrationally
hate.
hate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Mine's I'm just a Bill for next year. It's gonna be all Bill Pullman.
All
films.
Paxton.
I'm just a pool man. Yeah, cool. Who else we got here? Next up, we're gonna hear from your boy Steve. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Oh, what up? It's your boy, Jet Ski Stains. Howdy, fellas. That's my soju impression. I like to think it was pretty good. This is Jet Ski Steve coming at you from the vehicle Bluetooth on my way home from seeing Smile 2. What's up? You guys fucking hosed me last time I called. I don't know, I'm a little upset. I'm very hurt. I called, I don't know, 2 weeks ago maybe, on my way home from Terrifier 3 and said it was good and I liked it. There's probably more to it than that, but I guess I won't bother getting into it. You know, usually when you guys don't play my voicemails, you at least have the courtesy to say like, Steve, you talked too long. We didn't have enough time. Tough shit. Call back. You guys didn't even do it this time. Just didn't play it. That's okay. I forgive you. I love you guys. I'm on the way home from Smile 2. It was good. Worth a watch. Pretty good jump scares. And I was in the car with my girlfriend driving home, and we had the Haunted episode 495 was playing, and I wasn't really paying attention, but you guys were on. And the Jet Ski song came on, the DVD song, and I was like, oh, it's my song! And I got all giddy like a fucking 10-year-old schoolgirl. And my girlfriend's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I had to explain to her how that song came to be. So Smile 2, good. Terrifier 3, good. Matt had some some thoughts on my dreams. He said that I should turn you guys into space vampires. Matt, they're my dreams, pal. You want to turn them into space vampires? You have your own fucking dreams. All right. I mean, it's your dream. You can do whatever you want. Flying around is pretty cool. I did go on YouTube and I saw what you guys look like. That sounds weirder when you say it out loud versus how I meant it. And I was pretty close. Like my mental images for how you guys looked were pretty spot on. Bob, I was close. Soju, I was close. Randy, I'm sorry, I wasn't close. Okay, I'm gonna be calling you guys a lot over the next few weeks. I feel like I have a lot to say. Maybe I'll stagger it every other week so people don't get sick of me. Okay. It's almost Halloween. 6 more days. Bye-bye.
Sounds like Steve made the classic mistake of thinking I'm a black lady. It happens all the time.
I don't know.
All the time.
I'll take full responsibility for not playing your voicemail. I specifically told them, I said, don't play this motherfucker's voicemail
no.
again.
I've had enough of jet ski Steve.
I actually have no idea what happened.
This is Steve's fault for not paying attention, as he so blatantly stated that he had us on in his car and he wasn't paying attention until his song was played. I say the date we record every show at the beginning of every show specifically. So if you were to listen to the date we recorded the shows that your voicemails weren't played on, you'd realize we recorded them 2 months in advance.
I was thinking that might be it. It might be the pre-recording issue, yeah.
Fucking Steve. However, because he was waiting to hear his voicemails and he didn't hear him, he finally joined Slack. We negged him into joining Slack.
That's right.
Yeah,
we got to do more negging. I feel like we should do more negging.
Don't you love Soju? Don't you want to make him
No,
happy?
he's not cool enough to love this. He's not cool enough.
Don't you want to be friends with a brave, humble man?
Oh my God, this is getting weird.
Don't you want to dream about a brave and humble man?
Now that you know what I look like, you can.
It should be much easier. I'm very docile.
God.
God.
Fucking Steve, pay attention, dog. I'm glad
listen
you
to
liked
Bob, Steve. I love you. I respect you.
I specifically hate Steve. I want everyone to know.
The stories keep changing here. Like, I don't know. What's a bit? What's not? You don't know, Steve. Understand that?
Nothing's ever a bit for me. This is how I live my life.
I famously never joke around. Dead ass serious. Yeah. Thanks for calling over and over and over again, Steve. Always good to hear from you. Hope you had a good Halloween, man. Sounds like you saw some good movies. Last but not least, we are going to hear from Heidi. Let's hear what she's got to say.
Hey guys, it's Heidi. I was calling because I'm about to hear your 500th episode. And so first of all, congratulations on that. I'm trying to remember exactly when I started listening, when I discovered you guys. I know I definitely heard the 400. So that is quite an accomplishment, and keep doing what you're doing. We need you. I still love listening to your podcast, so keep doing it. And I was calling just to talk about the prompt that Nicole had suggested last time on last week's episode about your favorite, most memorable Halloween costume you wore as a kid. Mine would have to be my 50s poodle skirt my mom made for me when I was in, third, fourth grade. I was obsessed with Grease as a kid, so I really wanted to go as a 50s, chick with the poodle skirt and everything. And we picked out a pattern and she sewed it for me. And, I loved it so much I wound up wearing it to school on a regular basis, not just those 2 Halloweens in a row. It became part of my weekly wardrobe almost. And but it was okay. And I think I kind of started a trend at my elementary school, and other kids, I saw other girls wearing poodle skirts too after that. So I don't know if I necessarily started it, but even though this was the 90s, and not in style, it was something I was wearing and kind of caught on. But that would have to be my most memorable one. It's still at my folks' house. I think my niece wore it one year, but we'll see. It's fair, but definitely, kid size. So that was my favorite. But anyway, congratulations on 500, and I'm about to listen to it now, and hope you guys have a good Halloween tomorrow. I'll talk to y'all later. Love you guys. Bye.
Well, that was damn sweet.
Nice. Yeah.
Thank you, Heidi. Yeah. It sounds like you're a trendsetter to me. I don't know any 90s kids that wore poodle skirts outside of Halloween. So I think
Yeah,
you
it
must have
wasn't a
started
thing.
trend.
Wasn't
That
a
was
thing.
not a thing. So congrats on that trend setting. Apparently, still to this day, people still be wearing them poodle skirts around town.
Yeah, bring it back. Bring it back again. Just keep bringing it back over and over. Hope you had a good Halloween there, Heidi. Thanks for chilling with us for at least a couple years. Hopefully you liked episode 500. It is a wild ride.
Yeah,
Should
it
call
feels
back
like
next week, like, what
400
the
was
fuck was
like
that?
just like the other day, dude. Honestly, when
It
she was like
kind of
400,
does.
it doesn't feel like it was 100 episodes ago. Oh my,
It's
which was
wild.
2 years. Jesus.
It's
I
wild.
can't deal with it. I can't deal with it.
What is time?
Time goes by
It goes on.
and
It don't
don't
stop.
We got any more voicemails?
That is it. Thanks for calling in, Heidi. Always a
Yeah,
pleasure
thanks,
to hear
Heidi.
from you. If you guys are listening again, want to call in, leave a voicemail, hit us up at 904-638-3231. Call in with the celebrity whose face you find most punchable, or if you'd like to call in and talk about your most memorable Halloween costume, we'd like to hear about that too. That's a nice one.
That is a nice one.
Next week, we're going to be back with a brand new show. As always, this is going to be another You Pick. The movie is chosen by your boy Vince, and it is Wild Men.
Ooh.
Now think about your dad.
Check it out. This was on Tubi, I believe, free
I
to
think so, yeah.
stream. What is the year? I gotta look up the year because there's a few different Wild Men movies. I need
There's
to
men
find
and
that.
they're wild.
These men, they're wild.
Oh boy. Starting off the 500 really weird.
2017, Wild Men from 2017.
Yes.
It is a Bigfoot found footage comedy. So if you watch something with no Bigfoot and it's not found footage, that's the wrong one. Wild Men, 2017.
Directed by Bobby Sansevero.
Yeah.
Sansevero. I'm probably saying that wrong.
That name. Check that one
There you
out.
go.
Yeah. Get ready for next week's show. You can find us on all the social medias. Just search Straight Chilling Podcast and we'll pop right up. If you would like to join the Slack, just like your boy Jet Ski Steve finally did.
Finally.
You don't have to be negged. You can just hit us up on social media and say, hey, I'd like to join, and I'll send you a link so you can. And that's going to do it for us here this week at Straight Chilling. Until next time, as always, all you mother truckers, please keep chilling.
Do-do-do-do.